fix your entire life in one day. I know it sounds kind of crazy, right? Maybe a little bit impossible, but what if I told you there's a protocol, a deep psychological reset that could genuinely change your entire trajectory in just 24 hours? Well, today we're going to break down a method that promises to do exactly that.
Look, we've all been there. It's the new year, you're all fired up with a new resolution, and then, poof, nothing. The gym is absolutely packed in January, and by February, it's a ghost town. It's not just you. Turns out something like 80 to 90% of all resolutions just fail. So why do we keep failing at the very changes we say we want most?
And you know what? That failure is completely 100% normal. As author Dan Coe says, it's okay. The problem isn't that you lack willpower or discipline. It's that we're approaching the whole idea of change in a completely backward way. Okay, so if it's not about gritting your teeth and just trying harder, then what is it? We have to look at the very foundation of how we think about change, because honestly, it's fundamentally flawed.
See, there are really only two ways to change. Most of us focus on our actions. We're white-knuckling it, forcing ourselves to go to the gym, fighting for every single inch. It's this constant, exhausting battle. But real, lasting change, that comes from shifting your identity. It's about becoming the kind of person for whom healthy actions are just what you do. They become a natural, automatic part of who you are.
Think about it like this. A professional athlete doesn't have to discipline themselves to eat healthy. It's just who they are. In fact, they'd have to use willpower to eat junk food. The lifestyle isn't some temporary struggle to get a result. The lifestyle is the result, and it has to become your natural default state.
So if identity is the key, why is it so damn hard to change? Well, to figure that out, we have to dig a little deeper into our own psychology and uncover the hidden forces that are really pulling the strings and keeping you stuck.
It pretty much boils down to these three powerful truths. 1, your identity just hasn't made the shift yet. 2, on some hidden, unconscious level, you might not actually want the thing you say you want. And 3, and this is the big one, you're actually afraid of the new identity because it threatens the safety and comfort of your current one.
This is all because of something called the unconscious goal. See, all our behavior is goal-oriented, even when it looks like self-sabotage. When you procrastinate, you tell yourself you're lazy. But what if the real, unconscious goal is to protect yourself from the possible failure or judgment that comes from trying? You're actually achieving a goal. It's just not the one you're aware of.
Okay, so that's the diagnosis. We get it. The problem is deep. It's about our identity and these hidden goals. So how do we actually fix it? Let's move on to the solution. A one-day protocol designed to dig into your psyche and kickstart that profound shift. The protocol is simple. It breaks a single day into 3 distinct phases. In the morning, you're going to do a deep psychological dive. During the day, you'll actively work on interrupting your own autopilot mode. And then in the evening, you'll take everything you've learned and synthesize it into a brand new, crystal clear direction.
The morning kicks off with some painfully effective questions, like this one. It forces you to create what's called an anti-vision. By vividly imagining the grim, day-to-day reality of staying exactly the same, you generate this incredibly powerful motivation that comes from a place of, I don't want that. You have to really feel the pain of staying stuck to truly want to move.
Now, throughout the day, you break your own unconscious patterns. You do this by setting alarms on your phone with these kinds of provocative questions. They act as little pattern interrupts, jolting you out of your mental autopilot and forcing you to consciously observe your own behavior. What do your actions really say about what you want?
Finally, in the evening, you put it all together. You take all the raw insight from the day and you give it structure. You're not just setting some vague goals here, you're creating a whole system. A clear benchmark for 1 year out, a project for the next month that makes that possible. And most importantly, 2 or 3 concrete actions that the new you would just naturally do tomorrow. And this all leads us to the final piece of the puzzle, a really powerful framework for making this change actually stick. So how do you turn all this deep psychological work into a daily system? Simple. You turn your life into a game.
This right here, this is the master key. It maps all these compelling video game concepts directly onto your life. Your 1 year goal, that's your main mission. Your 1 month project is the next boss fight. Your daily actions are your quests. And crucially, that anti-vision we talked about, that's what's at stake if you fail. It creates clarity, focus, and a powerful reason to play every single day.
You know, the real beauty of this system is that it creates this kind of mental force field. When you know exactly what game you're playing, the mission, the stakes, the next quest,
All those other distractions, the shiny objects that usually pull you off course, they just lose all their power. They simply aren't part of your game.
And this isn't just some fun analogy, it's deeply grounded in psychology. Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi, the father of the concept of flow, said this: "Having clear goals and a structure for your attention brings order to your mind." And that's exactly what this game framework is designed to do. Create the conditions for you to be truly engaged with your own life.
So this is where we end. You have the framework. You have the protocol. The only thing left is to decide. You can keep living on autopilot, playing some game that someone else designed for you, or you can design your own. So the only question left is, what game will you choose to play?